Welcome back, everyone. Drew Peterson is suing J.P. Morgan Chase in federal court.
He says the bank illegally cut part of his home equity line, and we're joined by his lawyer, Walter Maksym. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
How is Drew doing? You've obviously talked to him a number of times.
Well, I've talked to him. I have not been to the jail, but I've talked to him with his lawyer, and he seemed to be in good spirits, considering.
Is he worried about his children's welfare or their financial
Of course.
future?
I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, I think the biggest hurt, pain for any person is to be away from their children.
Yeah, how's he passing the time behind bars? And
I don't know. I haven't been in there watching, but he's in solitary confinement, really, so he's cut off in a way. But I think he's doing reading and so on.
And you said you've talked to him. What's his attitude like?
Well, I think we mainly talked business about this suit, and I can't go into all the detail, but it was, that he can't even if the bond is reduced, he can't make bond, he can't hire the experts he needs, etc. And so it's not only being confined there, but it's in effect being deprived of sort of an uneven playing field here. The state has all this power and money, and he's over here locked up without his resources.
He's accusing the bank of illegally cutting off his sizable home equity credit line. What are we looking at here? $220,000?
That was the amount of the initial loan in 2005, and then it was cut off a few days after his arrest in May of this year.
Why did you decide to take on this case?
Well, I was approached, and at first, it's a controversial case, but when I looked at it and really started looking at what is at stake, it's about the individual and the might of government. And the government can put anything on the tab they want in the prosecution. Their resources are virtually unlimited. But if he wants to use his own money. If he can't use his own money, then you and I are going to have to pay. And I thought rather than, especially in these hard times, the taxpayer is not only paying for this enormous expense of the prosecution, the investigation, their experts, etc., but to deprive, here's a man who wants to use his own resources and they won't let him, he will have to petition the court for the funds necessary to put on an adequate defense. And that's going to be a very expensive, time-consuming matter. And every time you ask for a dime, you have to ask the judge, and the judge has to approve it. So it goes through a filter. The state doesn't have their bills filtered, but he'll have to, in effect, get on his hands and knees and beg for the money.
I was kind of interested by the fact that the bank is citing imprisonment as the reason why they're cutting off his access to the money.
Well, right. And this is a technical thing, but you're not imprisoned until after you're sentenced. He's being held pending trial on bond. And so you would say that he's under an arrest warrant, he's being confined at a detention facility. But let's take the technicality away, imprisonment versus being confined. That's what they said, and they said that the word imprisonment in the letter, which is the only really explanation they had, that somehow in their minds affected his ability to be financially sound, in other words, be qualified to pay off the loan.
And he feels differently as you do. Well, we're going to continue.
Clearly, he's more than qualified.
Okay.
Okay. And you're doing this pro bono?
No.
Okay. You're getting paid. All right. Thanks for coming in.
You really want that credit line to open up then. Thanks a lot.
You really do.